Father, we thank you for this evening. We thank you for your grace and your mercy. We thank you for your love. Truly, there's none like unto you and none compared to you. And God, we thank you for this opportunity for us to gather here this evening and to learn, to grow, to network, and to connect. And as we've been stressing over the last couple of months, communicate, connect, and collaborate. Father, we thank you for everyone who's joining us and those who plan to join us and those who will be joining us. Father, we thank you for Dr. Taylor, who is our featured speaker for this evening. And we pray, God, that you'll give her the strength to do her presentation and everything to sustain her. We thank you and we ask for your blessings upon the association and its members and our activities. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right. So with that said, let me welcome everyone again. Um, I'm trying to get my notes up for me to introduce our key presenter for this evening, Dr. Kamika Ruth Taylor. And you know what is interesting? I'm glad Dr. Birdie is on this call. I'm glad you're here. Um, Dr. Taylor is a Jamaican entrepreneur strategist, right? She's the author of several books, and I must add this, she holds a Doctor of Transformational Leadership degree from Bakke University, Graduate University. She's also a She's also a giftedness guide, career coach, and the CEO and founder of Extra Mile Innovations Limited. Trading as Bamboo Sparks, the creator of the Entrepreneur Sacred Academy, founder of the Caribbean Entrepreneur Summit, and the Authorpreneur Secrets podcast. She is an award, a bestseller, and she is an author, which I did mention. Now you can see all the books over there. I'm sure all of those books behind her is hers, So Dr. Taylor is an Amazon bestseller, and she has over 40 books. Yes, 40 books. As of January 2026, she works with published and aspiring authors to publish their books and to achieve their God-given mission and financial goal. Now, Dr. Taylor is committed to a mission of raising up 10,000 winning Caribbean entrepreneurs by 2030. And I'm sure she can maybe extend that to other countries outside the Caribbean borders. Since 2003, she has spoken at least 14 countries across the Caribbean, Latin America, and Africa. And this evening, Dr. Taylor will be speaking to us on Authorpreneurship Golden Nuggets. Dr. Taylor, over to you. Your mic is off. Your mic is mute, sorry.
I just realized that. Sorry. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much, Dr. Aiden, for inviting me to share with your group. And we are having this reciprocal sharing because you were at my event on May 9. And so it is an honor to be here. This is my second time sharing with the DSL group. First time as a presenter. I think it may have been, well, it was certainly during COVID when you had the Christmas gathering. Yes, online, the celebration online.
I think 2024. I think that was in 2024, December 2024, I think, yes.
Right. So
Yes.
back then I was still working on my dissertation, and it was so encouraging. I want to thank Dr. Aiden and the DSL group because I was saying to him when we spoke the last time that without him knowing, this group played a role in helping me to finish because I was on my doctoral journey for over a decade. And you start, you stop, you start, stop. And there was a discussion held by the members of the group, Dr. Aiden and about three others, and it was posted on YouTube. So when I was looking for encouragement to finish the journey and, just looking for some encouragement to push to the finish line, the video that I watched was really helpful, particularly the testimony of one of the doctors who was married, had a business, I think five children, and was, I think, a non-profit or working in church. And I was like, if that lady with so much responsibilities could finish the course, therefore, I can do it. And so I want to thank you and encourage you to keep up the good work. Never underestimate the value sometimes of what one meeting, one medium of communication can do, because that video played a role. And so even though the numbers are few, don't watch the numbers. Trusting that this presentation will be insightful and inspiring, and you will spread the word. And just as I have been encouraged by the group without you knowing, that this presentation, when sent to others, will also encourage others long after it's gone, and I won't even know the impact. So thank you so much.
If I may say, Dr. Taylor,
Yes.
it's interesting, and I'm so happy. I think this is one of the things that keeps me going, and to know that we're doing something good in the association, because God have it where Dr. Burden is on this call tonight and you're sharing. I never wanted to say it. I wanted you to say it. And she's on this call. So she's hearing you. She's right here on the call.
Yes.
So Dr. Burden, your message was the one that gave Dr. Taylor the hope and the
Oh,
inspiration
she's
to
here.
try to, yes.
Yes.
That's Keisha's iPad. That's Dr. Burden right there. Yes.
God bless you. Oh my goodness.
Thank
It's
you.
such an encouragement back to me. I'm so glad God was able to use my testimony to
Yes.
encourage you. And now it's coming back. So God bless you. God
Oh,
bless.
bless you, bless you, bless you. Small world. All right, so let me get into the presentation. But just before I do that, how many of you here are already authors? You could type it in the chat. One. Just you, Dr. Aiden. Nobody else has. So your research, I'm sure there was some documentation done. I know different schools have different ways of coming to it. Final project, have you considered turning the findings of your final project into a book, so that the message and the findings that you have recorded from and defense. I don't know if you had to do a defense. I had to do a defense, that you can now take that, because that's your expertise, turn it into intellectual property and share it for the world. I want to encourage you to do that. And so, Dr. Aiden, this is especially for you. And then I hope by the end of the evening, more people will become authors. And so your dissertation or the research won't just be put on a shelf. All right, good. So I have the right audience. So let's go. So I have a video to show as well as a PowerPoint. So here we go. And welcome again, everyone. Share. Here we go. Share my screen. All right. I have too many things. Oh, let me know if you're seeing my screen. Is it showing just now?
I started to share, but nothing yet.
Is it there yet?
It's up now. Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to go to the beginning. So as I was introduced, I'm Dr. Kamika Ruth Taylor. I'm a Jamaican entrepreneurship strategist, founder of Bamboo Sparks Publishing. I like to call us, we are intellectual property asset creators, and we offer publishing services so that you can turn your story, your expertise, your knowledge into a book that can be used to promote your business, start a business, grow, scale, expand ministry, get your message to the masses, and leave a lasting legacy. And so I help transformational leaders to write their books, publish it professionally, and build a business around it or ministry. Well, at Bakke Graduate University, business is ministry for us. And coming out of my dissertation, I created what is called the Authorpreneur Secrets Blueprint. I know people struggle to say that word. It's author and entrepreneur smushed together. And so I help persons to write, publish, and profit from their books. And I was mentioning earlier that on the 9th of May, Dr. Aiden was one of 4 presenters at my doctoral celebration and birthday and book launch event. And the feedback from that presentation was very good. And we repurposed it to an interview. And we've been getting feedback from that, so I am returning the favor. My research explored entrepreneurship as a viable model for sustainable income through microfinancing, and it was a case study. I've been an author for over a decade, and I've been an entrepreneur for over a decade. I have writing and publishing business, and I do personal development training. And so I have been a full-time author entrepreneur since 2018. And so my study was a longitudinal study looking at my author entrepreneurship initiatives over a 6-year period. And out of that, the desire was to create a model that would help authors to prosper. And then within a month after defending my dissertation, so my defense was March 11th, so I'm a newly minted doctor. And within a month, April, the draft of this book was finished. And by May, I had it on pre-order on Amazon. Just the ebook, the print book is ready, but I've been toying with should I put it on Amazon or sell it directly from my website? I have many books that have been on Amazon and other stores, but I think for this one, because I want to use it for training, I want to keep the print and sell it directly. And I'm working out how to do that. And so it's about turning your story and expertise into a book, and your book into a most powerful business card or a profitable business. For those who are intimidated by just thinking about business, all I'm encouraging folks to do, and you will learn through the presentation, is to build a transformational program around your book, bring people to a place of transformation, and then charge for it and make that profitable, just to simplify it. Because especially creatives and business, and sometimes ministers and business, it can sound intimidating. So that book is currently on Amazon. And so if you want to transform your dissertation, thesis, your research into a book, I can help you. And the last challenge that I ran last year, we had a small book, big impact challenge, 27 participants, 20 books came out, and several of them have been published. So it's related. It's not just quote unquote self-promo. I'm not being egotistical. Everything here is related. The challenge for many, there is opposition. So many books are being published every year. So does it really matter? So 4 million books published annually. As of 2025, the industry is producing a massive volume of new titles every year. And yet, for the average author, even if you get a traditional deal, if you're not famous, if you don't have a large following or platform, most authors are selling on average 300 to 1,000 copies of their book in its lifetime. Dr. Aiden, I'm putting you on the spot. How many books have you sold?
Listen.
Do you fall within the stats?
I must tell you that since meeting you and your work that you're doing, I have been compelled to do more. Not much
Okay.
books because I've been focusing on so much of building the organizations. But
Yes.
now you're understanding as you're being requested to speak on different platforms and wherever. Now you want
Yes.
to make that your books are out there. So not many, but a few, but a few.
Right. So this is not a Jamaican, thank you. It's not a Jamaican stat. It is a global stat. And therefore, with so many books being published and you're not selling many copies, is it worth it to continue? Why are we doing it? And I want to propose to you that there is more to a book than just the sales. You heard Doc Aiden just saying that he has been getting speaking engagements and different things, and that is good because you can get your message to the masses without selling millions of copies or thousands of copies of books, because the book opens doors. And the book sales is not the end goal alone. So part of my research was to change the narrative around what success means as an author. And so don't be discouraged by the stats and say it makes no sense, because just like your doctorate is a calling card, your book is also a calling card. It will open doors for you. And it can generate income faster if you know how to leverage it than just depending on the royalties from book sales. So I trust that I have your attention. And part of my studies was among Jamaican independent authors. That means they paid for their publication. In the US, you would call them self-published, but in the Caribbean, we don't like that because we're not doing it all ourselves. We pay a professional to get it done. And so we prefer the term independent authors. And I did a survey of 50, and 93% of them were not earning sustainable income. And they define sustainable income as anywhere between 500 to 2,000 per month. Now, in the US, that may not be a lot, but in our economy, that is a lot of money. And most of them were writing their book as a labor of love, not for livelihood, unlike me. And so I want to share my story. How did I get into this? And how did I get into authorpreneurship? And by the way, even the video that you're about to watch was part of my 20-minute defense. And so I invite you to just watch this short video to tell a little bit more about my story. And then I'll get into the authorpreneurship shift and the nuggets that will help you. I hope I'm not boring you. Stick with me. All right. So I'm going to bring up the video, which is on YouTube. And I need to make sure I share sound so that you can hear it. Here we go. The device is moving a little slow. Let me know when you are able to see it. Are you seeing it? You seen it now?
Not yet. Yes, it's up now. Yes.
All right. So I'm going to press play and let me know if you're hearing well as well.
This is Kamika Ruth Taylor's story and her journey into authorpreneurship. Let's talk about writing a book. For so many people, the dream, the big goal is hitting that bestseller list, right? But what if the real power of a book has nothing to do with how many copies you sell, but everything to do with what you build from it? This idea that book sales are the only measure of author success, it's created this huge myth. And honestly, it's a trap. It's a trap that so many talented writers fall into. They pour their heart and soul into a book, and then crickets. The sales just don't pay the bills. So, we're going to look at a totally different way to do this, a path that completely rethinks what a book is even for. To really get this, let's dive into a real story. Kamika Ruth Taylor's author's journey. It all kicked off back in 2014, and it started with a huge, life-changing decision. She actually walked away from her job. No salary, no safety net, all to chase this calling she had, to write books that could really, truly change people's lives. Talk about a leap of faith, right? And it was all built on this one powerful, high-stakes idea. That was it. That was the belief she was running on. This book will make her a millionaire. She was so sure of it, so convinced that she went deep into debt just to get her book published. We're talking crowdfunding, sponsorships, even borrowing money from family. And the plan? It was ambitious. Sell 5,000 copies, like right away, and boom, financial freedom. But you know how it goes. For pretty much every creator out there, the dream and the reality, they don't always line up. And here's how that reality hit. I mean, it hit hard. After publishing in early 2015, the sales were just a trickle. Can you imagine? A whole year of hustling, of believing in this thing, and she only managed to sell 1,000 copies. That's not enough to live on. Not even close. And it's definitely not enough to pay back all those loans. So by 2016, she had to go back and get a part-time job just to keep her head above water. But here's the crazy thing. Her story? It wasn't some special case of failure. Not at all. In fact, it's depressingly common. Get this. The average new book from an author nobody's heard of sells fewer than 1,000 copies in its entire lifetime. So her struggle wasn't just some personal story of hardship. It was a symptom of a model that's just fundamentally broken for new authors. So after 3 years of this grind, she decided to leave the workforce again, but this time for good. And you better believe she was determined not to make the same mistake twice. Relying solely on book sales? That was off the table. She knew she needed a totally new strategy, a complete pivot in how she thought about everything. And that new identity was the authorpreneur. It's a mix of author and entrepreneur. But it's so much more than a buzzword. It represents this massive mental shift. You stop thinking about just creating a book. Instead, you start thinking about how to strategically build an entire business with that book, right at the center of it all.
All right.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
1 second.
A complete...
I think Amazon YouTube is running something in the background. Apologies. All right, you didn't hear anything else in the background?
No.
Okay, all right.
I'm not hearing anything else in the background.
Thank you.
No.
So that is my story. And because I see a Reverend Kane in the room, I felt that God was telling me no more 9 to 5. And so I left my job, and I tried selling books just to make a living, as you heard, and the sales were inconsistent. Most authors don't make a living with their book. Writing is a hobby, writing is a side hustle, writing is a passion. They have another job. And I took the big leap to do this full time. And so when I went the second time, when I got a part-time job to try to pay off those bills, and then I felt God was saying again, it's time to just write and speak to transform lives. I was like, well, the selling of the books alone is not going to cut it. So what do I do? And that's when I got entrepreneurship coaching, and all of these ideas came as to how I could use my book as a platform to generate income. And all of that has evolved, and the result has just been tremendous. 50% of my doctoral tuition was funded by those initiatives. Been able to provide employment or income generating opportunities for at least 21 creatives, including a full-time person, and just the doors that have been opened. And the fruit of all of that experience is now my doctorate, and I'm on a mission to raise up more authorpreneurs, starting, we have a special goal for 2030 with the Caribbean, but it's beyond that. I have been tasked by my school to take this mission globally, and I'm working on a certificate course, an accredited certificate course in authorpreneurship as a result. So let's get back into the PowerPoint and wrap up this presentation while I still have your attention. So one of the authors that was on the panel with us is Dr. Clara Ricketts. She is 81 years old. And I know her story inspired Dr. Aiden.
Yes, yes.
After retiring, she did another degree. She had already had a master's. She went and did a first degree, and then she started her doctorate, I think, around about age 68. By 70, she was finished. And it surrounded her own work of working with parents and children with special needs. And so she converted her story, her dissertation, her expertise into a book. She converted her dissertation to a book called Yes, They Can. And then I helped her to publish it. And she thought that that was it. You write the book, you publish it, you try to sell it. And sales were slow. And then she learned from me that you could do more with the book than just try to sell it. And so we created an online academy called the Yes They Can Academy and created a course with the book. So the book was the textbook, the transformational guide, and she was charging like 200 US for it, and she got a number of students. And then she closed her school. This is a 70-year-old, So she had started a school for children with disabilities and behavior disorders. And that school was operational for 20 years. And she closed the school last year, and she was wondering what to do. At 80 years old, she's a proud octogenarian. And she still wanted to be of service because her mind is active. And we wrote another book, and it included her story again. And we launched it. And then November of last year, as she was contemplating what to do since the physical school was closed, I said, well, let's take your services online, become a consultant, and use your book as a business card. And we worked together. In November, we planned the program, and she was able to launch that in January and launch a pilot. And right now she's working with 5 parents and their children. And the program is like $600 US per person. And she charges them a monthly fee. And today we had a lovely conversation. Can you believe it? She's saying, I don't want to advertise because at my age and stage, I can only manage so much. But she's like, I'm so grateful for it. Now she's going to do some certification program with some of the parents. That one is like about $1,000 US. And the program includes the book. And she's saying, if I hadn't met you and you talked to me about this, I wouldn't know that I could do this. Do you know how many books you have to sell to make $1,000 in profit? Or from her 5 or 4 students, I think one of them is pro bono. 4, 6, this is 24. That's $2,400 from just selling 4 books, but building the program around it. Do you know how many books you have to sell on Amazon to earn enough royalties? Because the book look at it. The book, I think her book is $19.99, the print book. But she has taken the same content in the book, built a support group using her story and her expertise. And people are paying her $600 for that. That's many more times than the cost of the book, and just depending on them to read the book. In fact, she had a training seminar and required persons to read the book. And they said they don't have no time to read 200 pages, but they were gladly listening to her to teach the same thing that was in the book. If you write it, you will teach it. If you write it, you will speak it. And so the entrepreneur model is a shift from the traditional book publishing model. It's not new, but I created a combined framework of things that work. So instead of just write the book and publish it, the entrepreneur model said, build a legacy and scale a business. Instead of the book sitting on the shelf, you use the book as an active business card. Instead of just depending on low margin book royalties, you turn the book into high ticket client speaking gigs. And it doesn't have to even be high ticket. I created my first program around this book, Authorpreneur Secrets, because I realized people won't read. And I created a support group, a membership group to teach the thing that is in the book, teach them how to write and publish cost effectively and develop programs around the book. And I was charging like $40 per month. And now it's at $99 per month. And I would get like 10 people in the program and it revolves and it is supplementary income. That's the entrepreneurship model. Now, if Dr. Ricketts at 81 years old can do this, what about you? So the point is that your book is not the end product, it's a genesis of an ecosystem. So many people think the goal is simply to write the book, but my research and experience show something different. The real opportunity is to use your book like a business card, a tool that opens door to speaking, consulting, impact. And for those of us in ministry, it becomes a conversation tool, a ministry card, that you can use to take whatever God has given to you to people. Like it has been easier for me to speak to non-Christians just by hearing that I'm an author. So what did you write about? And that kind of thing. And we have these conversations that are not threatening. So Diggs from Entrepreneurship, Entrepreneur Magazine says to make an annual 6 or 7 figures, create products and services that are based on your books. So your book is intellectual property and it's IP. Some people have said that IP is the new goal, not real estate, because you can use it in different formats. And up to 70 years in the US, after you die, your family can be earning from the book. In other jurisdictions like Jamaica, up to 95 years after you die, your family can be earning from it. After 100 years, it loses its copyright. It goes in the public domain. And so I created what I call the ACTS framework after analyzing my initiatives and looking at what worked. My top 6 initiatives that have created millions of dollars in Jamaica, and I've earned over 130,000 US dollars over the past decade from some of my initiatives. Just this one book, Authorpreneur Secrets, the programs I've created around it, with just about maybe 10 clients or so. Each time 25,000 US has come in from it. Some of my programs are like $99, $600, and I have a $6,000 program created from this book as well. And so I created the ACTS model with asset. Turn your story and expertise, and it could be a dissertation that captures that too into an asset. And that's where the book, you create the book, and that becomes the business card, right? And publish it. Then you create a transformational program and services that you offer online. So you reduce the overhead costs associated with doing physical events, and you open up yourself, you give yourself a global, wider audience and market that people can pay you from around the world. For us in the Caribbean, it is better because the US, the euro, the Canadian dollar is stronger in our currency. And so just 6,500 is like $1 million for us. That can buy a car, that can pay your tuition, that can give you a whole degree. And it helps to build sustainable income long term, and it helps to meet sustainable development goals. And so, how does your book do this? I combined 3 strategies into one model. So, you use your book as a billboard. So, the question is, what is your end game? If the book is just a starting point, what's the end game? Stephen Covey, the author of the book Seven Habits of Highly Effective People, says that you start with the end in mind. So that's one of the nuggets. So your book is a billboard for what? It's a business card for what? What could your book introduce? You can use the book as a transformational guide, aka textbook, but it's not always in a classroom. So if you say transformational guide for your coaching program, your consulting, your book can do that. And then you use proven online business models. And the things you're seeing on the side are some of what I created. So if you want to teach online, they often call it like an academy, but it's not a real academy, so to speak. That's just a term that has been in use for maybe a decade or so now. That's what they use. You can use your book to create certification programs if you're an educator, and you can use your own experience. Like Dr. Aiden, you've produced a number of books that could become now the skills again from that could be used to offer publishing services. So Dr. Rickett didn't go that route of becoming a publisher or offering services. I have done all of the above. She created the academy, she created the membership program and different things. And so this is what I came up with, and I called it ACTS. And these are some of the initiatives that were created out of it. Now, other examples of people who've used it, a friend of mine, Reverend Dr. Carla Dunbar, she has a marriage ministry, and so she created the Grow Your Marriage Ministry Academy. She called it Gym, where you work out your marriage issues in the gym. And so she writes a number of books on marriage and family life. And she has different courses and programs. And she charged anywhere from $199 to $697. And I saw earlier this year that she created a $10,000 program. And the books become the billboard for that. You know, like she has a couples devotional. She has wisdom keys for families. She has sexscription, a prescription for sex. And she uses that to have like retreats and to help couples who are struggling and that kind of thing. Some go the publishing route, as I said, like Daphne Ellis, one that I've trained. So I certify people to become book publishers to start their own publishing service business, even though I run one. Because the vision is so big, everybody don't want to work with me. It doesn't bother me. Collaboration, not competition, because there's abundance, there's enough for all of us. And her specialty is memoirs and ghostwriting. And recently she did a book for the Chief of Defense of Jamaica. And she's the first female Chief of Defense in Jamaica.
Nice.
And she was able to do that book. But it started with her writing her own story. So what are my nuggets? Don't underestimate the power of your story. Your story combined with your expertise can give you a powerful intellectual property, a powerful tool, a powerful business card when put in a format called a book, written down, and it can help generations. We've seen that with many books, the authors are long dead and gone, but the books continue to inspire, to help us, to teach us, to encourage us. And so, like the widow who had just a little jar of oil in her house and she was in debt and didn't think it was a big deal. Many of you have a story, have a testimony, you don't think it's a big deal, and you're sitting on a gold mine. And so this evening is inspired to do something more with it. Put it in a book and then build transformational programs around it, mentorship programs, coaching programs, evangelistic stuff for those who are Christians. A business, real business. The book can become a marketing tool for your business. If you put testimonies in there, your strategies, you could start an online business with it. Billboard, because when customers come, like one of our clients, he has an organic farm. And so he wrote his story how he went from homelessness to become an entrepreneur and how the farm played a role in that. So when people come to stay at his farm and his bed and breakfast, they buy a book. Recently, he documented the story of how he was like one of the only persons in Westmoreland community in Jamaica after Hurricane Melissa who had light and was offering refuge to people. Given that 30 years before, he and his wife and kids were homeless, the landlord kicked them out when the baby was 2 weeks old. And he wrote about how he survived Hurricane Melissa. He was one of the very few that had electricity and was able to reach out and tell people what was happening. And he put that in a book called Give Thanks for Life. Again, the story. And now he's getting so many interviews and people are coming to the farm. Each time they come to stay, organic tourism, they buy the book. Don't underestimate the power of your story. Start with the end in mind. What could your book support? If you already have the book, what could you build on it? I never had these things in mind, When I published my first book, I just wanted to sell it. It was people who kept coming to me, and it was my story of overcoming heartbreak. I had a broken engagement, and my second broken engagement, and it devastated me. Dress bought, hotel booked, 300 guests coming. When my fiance said he fell in love with somebody else and this is going to work, I was like, God, how could you do this to me? I hate you. And that whole cycle of overcoming that, and it didn't destroy me, what I learned from it. And so when people bought that book, they came to me and saying, can you help me? I didn't have a plan to help them start no coaching program or anything like that. So they were the ones who challenged me now to do something more. Reading the book wasn't enough. And so start with the end in mind. Make use of your story and expertise. Look for models. So I looked at other people who were doing this thing, and I signed up for their programs. I got coaching. I watched them, not to copy, but to learn the process. And then I adapted the principles to create my own things. Identify yourself as an entrepreneur. In the study, it was those authors who took on this identity that were out earning the others. If you don't see yourself as an entrepreneur, that your book is for both impact and income, you won't make the shift. I want you to recognize the potential for impact, bigger impact, and also income. Recognize the best practices for replication. So accept the label, entrepreneur over starving artist, market aggressively. And the book that I created, my dissertation, is a practical book. It takes you through the process. And then, like I said, I'm creating the certificate and the accelerators to help persons. Some person can just take up a book and just run with it. I did a presentation, and one of the participants, within 30 minutes after the presentation, she created an initiative from a book that she had on gratitude and made an offer, and people signed up for her 3-week program. She didn't need to come for any coaching. The presentation was clear enough and she knew what to do. So some of you if you buy this book for $99, it could help you to do that. Some people need more holding of hands. Some people, they don't have the time. So the salon approach. Diversify. Stop thinking so much just about royalties. And if you can't do it on your own, get training, get coaching. I had to pay for coaching, and each time I invested in coaching, it helped. The first time I invested in coaching, I had to ask for a plan. I didn't have the $199. And then I was able to move from that, where I was investing in $1,500 in coaching. Again, didn't have the money, but I believed it would help, and I work out a plan, and I trust God, faith, courage, and consistent action. But then I saw the benefit of it at the end. And so entrepreneurship, in wrapping up, it has tremendous potential for economic impact, personal growth, cultural preservation, industry innovation, community impact, and for churches ministry expansion. If you're going to go this route, the best books for this very often are non-fiction books that solve a problem. But I saw when my coach used a fiction book, but it was a business fiction book, and the principles were embedded in the story. And so the coaching program helped me now to pull those out. Build recurring revenue. Sometimes you charge enough so that it's split into monthly payment, or you have subscription. Go online. It reduces the cost. It gives you a bigger audience, and adapt the things to your context. And so in a world where book sales alone are no longer sufficient, the ACTS model offers a practical and scalable innovation that empowers authors to move from just writing and storytelling to solution building, and from royalties to sustainable revenue. And so I hope that this will help. I also have a slide deck that is free. If you go to authorpreneursecrets.com/blueprint, you can download it. And my dissertation is also there that you could go and access it and read it. Thank you so much. I invite your feedback and questions.
Dr. Taylor, can you put back that last slide just for one moment, please? I was trying to do something, but my phone wouldn't allow me to capture the QR code.
Okay. So, 1 second. Let me find the exact slide and then put it there. And then for those who just want the address, not the QR code, it's just authorpreneursecrets.com/blueprint. It's coming up. Computer is a little slow just now.
That's fine.
You see it?
Yes, I was able to get it. Perfect. All right. Yes. Oh, perfect, perfect, perfect. Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Taylor. Listen to
You're
me.
welcome.
When I heard your presentation, your interview rather, on Love 101, and listen to me, members, Dr. Taylor has been on so many interviews, radio, television, all over. And when I listened to her that morning, I heard the interview. I said, but this is your second time. And the first time she was just Kamika Ruth Taylor. See Ruth Taylor. And then this time when they interview her again, she was now Dr. Ruth Taylor. So it reminded me of a podcast that I did before I became doctor. And then when the podcast was invited me again to his podcast. And then he said, but hold on, the last time you were here, you were just Aiden Brown, but now we have you on the program as Dr. Aiden Brown. So it's very inspiring to see that. And when I heard that presentation, I said to myself, it's a good thing that the Lord has led our paths together, because I believe that each one help one, and with the association, our mission is to empower members, encourage our members, and to enhance what they're doing. And when I see your work and hear of your work, I was compelled to say, no, I need Dr. Taylor to be at one of our monthly webinars so our members can actually learn, grow, connect, and get the knowledge and the motivation, as a matter of fact, to actually do this. Because a lot of people think that, okay, it's writing a book. At first, I'm gonna be honest, I'm one of those people, just write a book. But then as I go along, I'm learning more and more and more. And then when I heard the authorpreneurship title, I'm like, there's more to just writing a book, publishing a book. There's so much more to it. And I love the fact that Dr. Taylor put the IP to it. Right. So you own this. It's your work, it's your legacy. And one of the most important thing, as I often say to the members, is that what legacy do you want to leave behind? What work, what piece of document And the other thing also is that if you are expert or you are a professional in a particular area, and the greatest thing too, one of the things, and I'm sure Dr. Taylor would agree with me, if someone is inviting you to speak, I learned this, if someone is inviting you to speak, it'll be good if you are an author too, because at least you have material. And I learned this along my doctoral journey that one person, she spoke, and she was saying that when she graduated with her doctorate, she was trying to find opportunities. And she asked the community, there was a membership organization, association, and she asked the president or somebody if she can come and speak. And she decided to write a book, and she wrote a book, and she said to them, I can come and speak for free, but however, can I take my book to the event to be sold? And they're like, yeah, sure. So that is one of the ways in which we can utilize our books. But I talk enough now. We have a few more minutes. I know some people might have questions. I know some people are, as Dr. Reverend McLean mentioned, McCain mentioned earlier, she's doing her final project as a book. Any questions so far for our presenter?
I do. This is Lynn.
Go ahead, Lynn.
Yes. How do you decide where to publish your book?
Okay.
Do you self-publish? Do you go with a publishing company? Do you try and get it first in one of the big companies? Or, what's the best approach for getting your book out and being
Good
published?
question. It depends on your purpose. So for me, trying to get a traditional deal was never on the cards. One, the process is long. You have to get an agent, and it can be years of them lobbying to get your book. And I didn't think that I had the platform at that time, 12 years ago, to attract that audience. Then no, in terms of independent publishing, a lot of time it comes down to, there's a lot of scams out there, so it comes down to trust, time. That's a big factor, and your budget. Because if you have people in a circle who've done it before who can help you, if you're going the independent route or self-publishing route, they can guide you. These days you have AI that can do your cover. Then you need, and some of the editing, you can pay for professional editing. That may be the only thing that you pay for. And if you have a guide or a coach, you can sometimes get it cost effectively. Then you have publishing services company. You want to find reputable ones. You can check out the Alliance of Independent Authors. They have a watchdog list. And I stand as a trustworthy person in the Caribbean. I used to be their representative. So you have companies like ours and others that they manage the entire process for you. And it can be anywhere from $1,000 up to $3,000, depending on what you need. So if, for example, you need your book peer reviewed for a university, it could be that your university requires you to work with a reputable publisher or the university itself. So it depends on the purpose of the book. And so you wouldn't do that. If you're vying for certain kind of prizes, you're going for a Pulitzer, you're going for New York Times bestseller, sometimes you have to go traditionally or find people who are expert in that area. Like Tim Grawl, he would charge like $60,000 to get your book on the New York Times bestseller list. That kind of thing. So it boils down to your purpose, how much time and your budget, and you research different routes. Which one is best for me? So if it is that you want to maintain control of your IP and go the route that I spoke about, it would be important for you to do it independently, to own it. Because when you go with a traditional deal and they pay for everything and they keep some of your rights, so you don't have as much freedom to do with the book as you want. But they would at least have paid you in advance, and you still have to market no matter which route you take. So you have to weigh the pros and cons, and there are YouTube videos, books, teaching, so you can do a thorough research and then ask the Lord to guide you, which is the best route just now for this particular book or another book, because you may go trad with one book and independent with another. Does that help?
It does, yeah. My plan is to use my book as the centerpiece for my consulting business, the one for my doctorate, and then the one that I just finished is my Beyond the Stage offer for speaking engagements.
Okay.
And so I think with that one definitely would be independent
Yeah, all of
because
those sound like independent because
okay,
of the measure how you want to use it. But then if you're seeking a trad deal like what TD Jakes or those people, Joel Osteen, you have to get an agent and let them lobby for you to get a deal. But you can still do speaking with those, but not the consulting so much. You don't have as much leverage with the book.
I'm not sure I follow what you said there.
What I'm saying there, because you want to use it for consulting and things
Mhm.
like that, those are using the book for those things. You have to own all of the IP. So funding the publication yourself would be the better route. But if it's
Okay.
just like for speaking and things like that, you can still get a traditional deal. And when we say traditional deal, that is, a publisher will pay you to produce the book, and they give you, it's like they're buying the book from you. They may give you 5,000, 50,000, 250,000. That is what a lot of big name speakers that we know would do, like a TD Jakes, a Michelle Obama. That's the route that they take. They get an established publisher, they pitch the book, get an agent, and then the company would take care of everything. That's the traditional route. But if it's a consulting and coaching, you can go the self-publishing or hybrid publishing route where you maintain your IP.
So have you done that was it called KDP or something like that, publishing with
Yes.
Amazon?
Yes, I
Yes.
publish primarily through Amazon.
Okay. And that's a decent way to go. I just wasn't sure if that was a decent way to go or
Oh,
not.
that's a primary way.
Can I
Even the
answer that, Dr.
established
Taylor?
publishers use Amazon because they're the big dog, so
Right.
to speak. So everybody uses them, but they also use other platforms. Amazon is the main one that most people know, but you have Ingram Spark, you have Book Vault, but yes, Amazon is non-negotiable for most authors, whether traditionally published or self-published.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And if I may add to that, Dr. Taylor and Lynn, I remember when my first ever book, which is this one, What's Next? My first ever book. I reached out to another, and I'm not gonna call the name because we can talk off the air when we are together, Ruth, Dr. Taylor. Somebody that we know. I did reach out to them, and the pricing, and as Dr. Taylor mentioned earlier, the cost. What is your budget? And when I heard the cost that she was charging to get the book all out, and I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I did my research. And I did my thing, and I got to publish my first book, and I posted it on Amazon. I listed it on Amazon. It took me a year to get it on Barnes and Noble. So there's another platform, Dr. Reverend Lane, that you can use, and that's Barnes and Noble, and I think it's also on Bookshelf. I think there's another platform, Dr. Taylor, named called Bookshelf. That's where I used to get a lot of my workshop materials, my study materials, books from. And so for me, it was about the budgeting. And one of our members, before he became a member of the association, he did ask about that too. And I did tell him, what is your budget? So if you are if you're floating in the Obama and all of those people category, then you can go the route as Dr. Taylor mentioned. But if you're just an ordinary person like myself, we can go the normal route to just, use this and use the other one. All right. So I think there's a question here. How do you
Yes.
keep your head up all right. So I don't know if that's a question from, I guess that's for Dr. Taylor.
Yeah, I can answer.
I
How
think
do you
Dr.
keep your
Keisha
head up
said,
in this age of AI? Well, I see AI as a companion, a tool. So you have AI assisted authors because the AI again also helps you to reduce some of the costs. So in times past, for example, my first book, I paid $1,000 for 12 illustrations and the book covers. With AI, I can get the cover faster and I may not have to pay for that. So if there are budgetary constraints, AI helps. Sometimes you are stuck as it relates to brainstorming, where to go next with your plot, where to go next with the idea. The AI helps. So I believe in working with the tools, just like before computer there was typewriter. Now there is AI.
right.
AI is built into almost everything, even on even Grammarly. Pro Writing Aid, the different editing apps, AI is there. So it helps us to go faster. So I am pro AI, AI positive. I know the community is divided and groups have been destroyed because of this thing. I know it's divisive. I am AI positive and I see it as a tool that you can leverage. How is it regular content consumer able to differentiate AI and authentic authors? One of the things is that, and you have AI assisted authors. I think one of them, I don't know if she won a Pulitzer or was nominated for some big prize, because if you're using it as a tool, it's not just it writing. I can pick up when an author comes to me and they just use ChatGPT because the content has no heart, it's not humanized. Your story is missing. And so that's one of the ways when the story isn't properly developed. There are just certain nuances and how, if you work long enough with the tool, you can spot that they just plug the thing into the tool and they didn't put themselves in it. And so how does it work? You still have people. All right. I think the best way I use it, back in the day, we depended on photographers to do a lot of things. With the advent of smartphone, many of us can take our phones and take our own pictures, right? But when you want a professional look, you still pay the photographer a lot of money so you can get it professionally done. So though AI is putting out a lot of content and bad books, there will still be people who want the human eye so that they can get the thing done professionally. For years, I couldn't produce many of my books in audiobooks because it was too expensive. When Amazon created virtual voices, I produced 18 audiobooks in one day. Whereas before that, using AI, before that, I could not get my audiobooks out. So you have to balance it. And some people want human voices, human editors. So we will ask. So I see us partnering, and it still requires investing time and money, because when I created my first children's book, remember I told you the first time I paid $1,000 for 12 illustrations, and it took a while. And the cover, which was an art cover. With the AI tools, you still have to pay. There's monthly fee. If you want certain level to be used, it's not all free. What you get at the free level is basic. And so there's still a cost involved. And so it's not going away. It makes no sense you fight it. You work with it. Some people are just against it. But I think there's a place for the human and the AI. And so for me, it has helped my company to do better, attract some clients, because older folks, people over 40, and I work with a lot of retirees, and so they're not into the technology. And so we who know how to use the AI to do certain things, it helps to reduce the cost, and it has also made our editing even better. Not for the structural editing, the big picture thing, but it has strengthened and less errors coming up. So we use it as I am an AI assisted author, an AI assisted business person. But when I wrote 20 books in 1 year, I didn't use any AI. So I don't need AI to help me to write my stuff, but I use it as a tool to augment what I'm doing. And I don't agree with the term actually investing time and money. Even with AI, you have to invest time and money, and you have to know how to use a tool to get the best out of it if you want a professional result. I hope that answers. That's just my perspective on it.
Was that answer suffice?
Thank you. Yes, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Carol. Yeah, right. Okay, yes. Okay, perfect, perfect. All right. Well, I know we are over the time.